Right now, you are watching this video. You are choosing to watch it. You decided to be here, or did you? Think about the last thought you had before that one. Did you choose to think it? Did you schedule it? Did you sit down and decide at 3 p.m. that I will have this thought? You did not. It arrived like weather arrives, and yet you walk around every single day with the absolute, unshakable conviction that there is a you, a self, a captain steering the ship, someone in charge. What if that someone is the oldest, most deeply buried lie you have ever been told? What if the self, the I, the me, the thing you protect and obsess over and define yourself by is not real? In the 1700s, a Scottish philosopher named David Hume tried something radical. He decided to look inside himself to find the self, to locate the I directly through pure introspection. And here is what he reported: he could not find it. Every time he looked inward, he found impressions, sensations, thoughts, a memory, a feeling, a sound from outside the window, but never a self, never a unified thing that was having all these experiences, just experiences stacked on top of each other. He called us bundles of perceptions, not a self but a collection, like a river that looks like one thing from far away but up close is just water molecules, constantly moving, constantly changing, with nothing fixed underneath. Here is a thought experiment for me and for everyone else. You from 10 years ago, same person as you today? You have different beliefs, different fears. Half your cells have been replaced. Your memories of that time are probably distorted. So, what exactly connects the two of you? What is the thread? Most people say consciousness, awareness, the feeling of continuity. But Hume's challenge is simple: the feeling is just another perception, another thing in the bundle is just doing. It is not evidence of a self, it is a story that the bundle is telling itself about itself. Now, fast forward 300 years, neuroscience arrives and it basically says the same thing about that Hume said, but with brain scans. Neuroscientists, I think, like Michelle, did experiments on split brain patients, people whose two brain hemispheres had been surgically disconnected. He would show a command to only the right hemisphere and the left hand would act on it. You can watch documentaries on it. Then he would ask the patient verbally, why did you do that? The verbal conscious narrative side of the brain had no idea about it. It did not give the command, but without hesitation, it made up a story, a convincing, confident, totally fabricated reason. He called this the interpreter. The left hemisphere is a story making machine, and Michel's conclusion was uncomfortable. The conscious self does not make decisions, it narrates them after the fact. This was confirmed by Benjamin Libet in the 1980s, which I mentioned in my previous videos. He measured brain activity while people made simple movements. The brain showed activity, what he called the readiness potential, about half a second before the person consciously decided to move. Half a second. The decision was made before you were even aware of it. So the self is not the one driving, the self is the back seat, actually, watching through the window and narrating the journey as it chose. As if it chose the destination. Philosopher Thomas puts it this way: there is no self, there is only a phenomenal self model, a simulation that the brain runs, a user interface. You are not the one using the interface, you are the interface. Okay, so if the self is a story, a post hoc narrator, a simulation, then who is or what is actually in charge? The honest answer is processes, biological, habitual, cultural processes you mostly did not choose and mostly cannot see. The childhood that shaped your nervous system, the language you think in, which structures what is even possible to think, the hunger and sleep and fear signals firing below any level of awareness, the social rewards and punishments that trained your behavior over decades. You did not choose your first language, you did not choose your fears, you did not choose what makes you laugh or what makes you feel worthless at 2 a.m., as I do sometimes. These things were installed. Buddhist philosophy has been saying that for 2,500 years, the concept of anatta, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong, no self, that you do not exist, but that you call self, is process, not a thing, a verb, not a noun. And here is where it generally gets interesting, not just scary. If the self is a construction, it is also a reconstruction, which means it can be rebuilt differently. The suffering you carry is not essential to you, it is part of the current model. The story you tell about who you are is not fixed, it is updated every single day, usually automatically, usually by repetition. Most people let that update happen on autopilot, which means whoever programmed the autopilot is living their life. Maybe then the ancient question, know thyself, suddenly becomes more radical than it sounds, because to know thyself is to first accept that that the self you think you know might must just be a mask, and to ask what is underneath it. I am not going to tell you or myself that the self is definitely an illusion. Smarter people than me disagree on that, but I will leave myself and you with this. The next time you feel certain about who you are, certain about your opinions, your identity, what you believe, ask yourself, when did you choose that? Did I even choose it? Or did it arrive like the weather arrives and I just take credit for it? Because if the self is built, it can be rebuilt. And the most dangerous version of this question is not if the self is an illusion. The most dangerous version is, if it is, who do you want to build next? Think about that. Maybe I need to think about that.